The best of all medicines is resting and fasting. Benjamin Franklin. Fasting mimicking diet or intermittent fasting is all the rage these days. But does it really work? Today I'm going to discuss the basic concept of intermittent fasting by answering the three following questions. What is intermittent fasting and how does it work? What are some benefits of intermittent fasting and who should avoid intermittent fasting? Now, before I dive into the details, I'd like to talk more about how I came up with this idea for my speech. As an accounting major student, I clearly don't have any nutrition or dietetics background. However, I've been a healthful eater all my life and always have a penchant for healthy dieting. On top of that, in order to prepare for the content of the speech, I've done a rather extensive research on the subject and compiling qualitative data and information from various online resources and sources such as Johns Hopkins Medicine, Harvard Medical School, the Exam Room Podcast by the Physicians Committee, etc. Now, without further ado, let's begin with question number 1. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is an umbrella term for various eating patterns that switch between eating and fasting on a regular schedule. Most weight loss plans involve tracking what you eat and counting calories. But in the past decade or so, it's become clear that when you eat may be just as important as what you eat. There are several variations of intermittent fasting to choose from, but the three most popular are the time-restricted feeding or the 16-8 method, where one fasts for 16 hours and eats within an 8-hour period. The twice-a-week or 5-2 diet, where one eats only 500 calories on 2 non-consecutive days a week while eating normally the other 5 days, and alternate day fasting, where one fasts every other day. Now let's examine how intermittent fasting works for weight loss. Fasting changes where your body gets its energy. Typically, your energy comes from sugar. If you eat constantly while awake and don't exercise, your body simply runs on the calories you consume. If you don't use all the sugar you take in from the day, during the day, your body stores it as fat. According to Johns Hopkins neuroscientist Mark Mattson, the liver stores glucose, which the body uses preferentially for energy before it turns to burning body fat. It takes 10 to 12 hours to use up the calories in the liver before a metabolic switch occurs to using stored fats. In a nutshell, intermittent fasting helps deplete your glucose stores and get you into ketosis faster by not eating any food for a prolonged period of time. Next, question number 2. What are the benefits of intermittent fasting? According to an online report published by UCLA Health, when you consistently practice intermittent fasting, it may banish brain fog, decrease your risk for diabetes, help you lose weight and visceral fat, improve heart health by reducing blood pressure and improving cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, which may improve conditions such as arthritis, multiple sclerosis, and asthma, and potentially contribute to longevity as it triggers autophagy, a cellular recycling and disposal of older and diseased cells. Now, the last question: who should avoid intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is safe for many people, but it's not for everyone, as cautioned by Dr. Walter Longo, a longevity researcher at the USC. Fasting may bring health benefits, but there's still a lot we don't know. He suggested that the following groups of people who should avoid intermittent fasting: children and teens under 18, people with advanced diabetes or on medication for diabetes, people with a history of eating disorders such as anorexia or bulimia, pregnant or breastfeeding women. Finally, always be mindful that there's no perfect fasting plan. Regardless of what fasting strategy you choose to commit to, it really should be based on what works best in your life. Thank you for listening.